Do you need ChatGPT integrated into your new bike? Hello and welcome to TechFirst. My name is John Koetsier. I was in Vegas at the beginning of the year for the Consumer Electronics Show. It was amazing, of course, like CES always is. And as always, I saw something I never expected. I saw a smart bike. Okay, I could have expected that. It had electric motors. Yeah, that I noticed that and seen that for some time. It also had ChatGPT integration. Makers call it a bicycle with a mind. And while we've all seen how e-bikes have grown like wildfire, the smart bike market is projected to grow about $26 billion by 2028. It's growing at 62% per year. This was something kind of new. We're going to chat about it today with the CEO of Urtopia, the company that builds this bicycle with a mind. His name is Dr. Owen Zhang. Welcome, Owen.
Hi, thanks, John, for your invitation. Nice to meet everyone.
Good to meet you. Good to meet everyone. Good to
Mhm.
meet you again, I should say, because I
Yeah,
think we saw each other in
right.
Vegas. Okay, we're
Nice.
going to get into everything. We're going to get all the stuff, why a bike should have ChatGPT, but I
hmm
want to start here with your new Fusion GT bike. It's the
hmm
world's first ever dual motor, dual battery bike. So in other words, it's an all-wheel drive bike.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing idea. I've been wanting something like this ever since I was biking at Whistler. I don't know if you know Whistler. It's one of the premier ski destinations in the
hmm
world. It's near where I live in Vancouver, BC, but it has amazing mountain biking in the off season, in the summer. I was biking there and I was spinning my rear wheel because, you're going up a steep slope with
Right.
gravel or dirt, and I was spinning the rear wheel. I was going, I need an all-wheel drive bike. What the heck? And
Yeah.
it didn't exist, but you've built it. Talk about that.
Yeah. Actually, when I after the CES in Las Vegas, I drive to the San Francisco and then drive around the San Francisco. I thought, okay, the Fusion GT definitely will be very popular in this area. So many mountains, hills. Yeah. So yeah. Actually, this model actually is our flagship model in United States. We worked with the very famous designer, Mr. Esling. Who is Eslinger? Actually, he used to work with Jobs for Apple. So in Apple the series products, there is a design concept named the Snow White. So all the uniform design concept and the Snow White design concept actually was brought by Mr. Ashling. So he's a legendary of in the design industry. So
Mm.
it's very lucky we can work with him. And after we talked with him, and he suggested, so for US people, actually, he lived in United States, in San Francisco. So he
Mm.
told us the United States people, they really like the powerful and a long range and
Mhm.
well-designed e-bike. So
Yep.
I told him, okay, let's do it. So, uh, but we don't want to make another e-bike in the world. Our brand always brings a unique, well-designed, and the industry leading e. So we thought maybe we should do something the world's first. Yeah. And then we come out. Okay. Nowadays, most of the motors just one, and most of them either in the middle or in the rear, right? So we thought maybe we can have two, but the dual motor is more complex, especially for the controller. You need to keep the frequency the same and the rate the same. Otherwise, if it is not good, the riding experience. Yeah. Luckily, in our team, a lot of PhD. Myself, I graduated from the University of Minnesota in United States. Yeah, Twin Cities.
Okay.
And I got my mechanical engineering, the PhD. And I have the MIT PhD, CMU PhD, and Brown PhD, a lot of PhD. So I think maybe we can do it. So after the development, we got the dual motor model, and which works very well. And you can just switch from make it like a single motor riding. If you
Mhm.
want, you can do it as
Rear wheel drive, front wheel
yeah,
drive,
right.
dual wheel drive.
Yes, different using scenario, you can use different models. So that's very cool. But when you come to two motors, the battery is not enough for one battery. We found
Mm.
after we tested, we think, okay, maybe we can add two batteries. Again, the dual battery system is also very complex. You need to do yourself the BMS, the battery measurement system. So again,
Mhm.
we are engineers. We are, it's what we are good at. So, okay. So we just say this and, two complex systems combined together. Wow, it's very challenging, but we made it. So after about 1 year development, we got this dual motor, dual battery system. And I think that's really cool. Yeah.
It is really cool, and, I actually commuted into San Francisco
Hmm.
every other week for about
Yeah.
3 years.
Hmm.
I would never pre-book a hotel. I would come into the office at, like, 8 AM, taking the 6 AM flight from Vancouver, and
Right.
the first thing I'd do is I'd pull up Hotwire or something like that. What's a good deal for a hotel? So sometimes you get something amazing, sometimes you get something awful, but often I would have something up on Nob Hill. This is relevant to
Yeah.
the thing you're talking about,
Right.
because if you haven't for listeners who haven't been to San Francisco or maybe haven't been up Nob Hill, it's steep. It's
Yeah.
very steep. We're talking, very steep angles,
Right.
very steep grades,
Right.
and, sometimes it gets wet, sometimes it's misty, it's not great traction, so it's nice to have the dual motor there. That would make a lot of sense, and
Right.
frankly, for the trail riding as well that I was doing, like I said, I was spinning my wheels,
Yeah.
and having a dual wheel drive would make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's cool. That's interesting. I want to talk about the ChatGPT thing because that's what
Hmm.
I saw
Yeah.
first. That's the new thing I saw.
Hmm.
It, that typically somebody could look at that and say, "That's just a gimmick. Somebody's doing that so they can say that they've got it." Is it, or is it actually cool? Is it actually integrated into what your bike is about and what your bike is for?
Okay. Yeah. So ChatGPT, that's the big topic. And first, from my personal thought idea, I really believe in the AI. Like the topic in the CES, all about AI. AI is the future. However, I also pay attention to the AI safety. I think that's also very seriously
Mhm,
topic. Uh,
mhm,
Before I talk to about more, I would like to talk about a very interesting story. Our slogan, the bicycle with a mind. You know, and it's like why we made a GPT into it. We want to make the slogan more confirmed with our product. It's like a
mhm,
bicycle with a mind. The ChatGPT definitely will be its mind. And the slogan actually was brought by Mr. Ashling. There is a very interesting story. Uh, our old slogan is inspire passion, active life.
mhm,
And Ashling told to us that, your bike is the smartest. I think you should use this one. Why? He told us that at the very, very beginning, I think just at the very beginning of the Apple company estimated uh, Jobs work with him. And at that time, Jobs uh, published a story talk about the computer because at the 1980s, nobody knows computer, but people knows. So the Jobs published a story on, I don't remember the newspaper, but it talked about that before the bicycle actually can enhance the efficiency of the people sport. Without the
mhm,
bicycle, actually people is ranked very low in the nature. A lot of animals, they can work, they can sport much, much efficiency than human. And with bicycle, human be the first one, the best,
mhm,
the most efficiency uh, animal in the world. So,
mhm,
so the Jobs use bicycle to introduce computer. He says that the computer just like your mind, bicycle. So Esslinger said, this is a very interesting story. At that time, nobody knows computer. People use bicycle to understand computer. Now,
mhm,
everyone knows computer. So,
mhm.
but not everyone knows AI, knows the ChatGPT. So maybe the bicycle with a mind also use this type of story to help people to understand why AI ChatGPT is so important in writing. I think
Mhm.
that's very interesting. So that's how the beginning comes. But that's sorry, I talked too long about it. But
No, no, it's totally fine. I mean, that is a big deal. Everybody knows that. I recognize that Steve Jobs says the computer is a bicycle for the brains.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
perfect. That's excellent.
yeah.
So
That's the
that's the origin story. Now,
right.
what does it do for the bike?
Yeah. So that's how our new slogan comes. So the bicycle with a mind. Then we think we need to make it with a real mind. So ChatGPT definitely will be the best of option. However, we think that um, if we build up our own the AI model, that's impossible. We are starved, you know. Yeah. So the
It's hard.
yes part the large model uh, is just the Meta, the Google,
Mm,
and the OpenAI. They can do it. We cannot.
mm,
So uh, in fact, then we want to integrate the ChatGPT because and the structure, the hardware structure of our e-bike, you know. So basically, our e-bike for the bike itself, it is I think it's well designed, but mostly we use standard parts. So that's not new. That's not innovative. What is innovative is that we build up all the hardware system, like the controller. You know, I just mentioned that it's very hard, especially for dual motor. So the
mm.
motor controller, we made it by ourselves. We developed by ourselves. And also the IoT system, we developed by ourselves. And, the controller and the IoT system, they connect with each other by the CAN bus. So all the
Mm.
bike hardware, the control system, they just the whole system. And in the future, not far away, I think in the near future, we will develop the motor by ourselves. So then we got all, and also the BMS we developed by ourselves. So you can see all the control about parts we developed by ourselves. And then
Mm.
this is just the hardware. And then we build up our uh, software. We develop our own software because the our e-bike has a eSIM card integrated. So this
Right.
bike is always connected. And then we build up our uh, cloud on the AWS. And you can see this structure. It actually is definitely a smart device structure. It you can think it's like a smartwatch or smartphone or uh, maybe I don't know any smart device. So
I'm gonna I'm
yeah,
gonna pause you just for a second there because
yeah, no
it's
problem.
really interesting. Because
Mm,
one of the things that I am interested in, one of the things that I want to focus on in Tech First and in what I write for Forbes
mm,
is what I call smart matter.
yeah,
And smart matter is a collection of atoms, and it can be anything. This, of course, is
right.
an orange, but it can be anything that has motors integrated, sensors integrated,
Yes,
chips integrated,
yes,
and radios integrated,
yes,
right? And so it can communicate, it can do things, it
right.
can hear things, it can
Yes,
think, quote unquote, think. It has
yeah,
programming and those sorts of things. This is this is right down the strike zone of what I call smart matter.
right,
And so that's one of the things I was interested in. That development methodology or mind space that you're in is also interesting because that vertical integration, which is, by the way, quite Apple like, is interesting if you want to do significantly differentiated experiences, if you want to create significantly differentiated products, because everybody can grab 15 components off the shelf,
right.
especially in Shenzhen, where
Yes,
your factory is.
yeah,
That's really easy. There's
right,
manufacturers everywhere. I can get one of this, one of that, one of that, but putting them together so they function as a team and they're integrated and they communicate and it's not taking way too much battery because everything was developed differently and they don't communicate easily, that's the real magic. So that's interesting as well. But I do want to come back to, okay, ChatGPT, I can talk to my bike
Yeah.
and my bike can answer me. Why do I need that? What does it do for me?
Okay. So, so the ChatGPT, the reason is that when we build up this system, so the ChatGPT actually is just a contested demo. It means that you can, this system is a API. You can open the API and then you can integrate all the apps into my bike. ChatGPT is one of them. Actually, we integrated the Strava, Komoot, the Apple Health. People can use all the Apple devices come with our e-bike. And it's not like you wear an Apple Watch and use in the Apple system. You can use our app system and our bike system. That's
Mhm.
that's the key effect. But ChatGPT itself is like when you ride a bike, it can bring you some fun. Like you can talk to him, ask any questions, especially when you don't know the riding routes. You can ask the
Mhm.
ChatGPT and
Mhm.
it can feedback you the correct navigation, this type of thing.
I
But
like that a
yeah,
lot.
yeah,
I
but
I I like Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, yeah. So, but why I do this? Because I have a belief, like I mentioned before, the AI. I believe AI is the future if people can control it well. But
Mm,
it's not. I cannot do that. It's people will do it. Okay,
Yep.
so
Yep.
I think smartphone and at the end, in the end, the smartphone will be maybe remote. People don't need smartphone. Like you mentioned that everything is smart. Maybe I have orange, I don't know, maybe a TV, maybe a watch, anywhere, everything
Yes.
connected. Everything, your car, everything is smart. We just do it ahead of time. We prepare for
Mhm.
this trend. So
Mhm.
when that time comes, my bike is ready. So when you're riding, what I always told my users, told like you guys that I don't like people mounted a smartphone on the handlebar. That's not safe. And that's not smart, because that's a smartphone. And you
Yep.
just need to throw your smartphone in your home and ride the bike
Mhm.
and enjoy your nature. And all the smart features will be very, naturally communicated with you. That's the smart means.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you an example about
Yeah.
that, and I was at, Web Summit in, Lisbon,
Oh.
Portugal,
Mm-hmm.
about 4 months ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And the way to get around in Lisbon, is to use, a scooter, electric scooter,
Mm-hmm.
Lime, whatever. There's a bunch of different manufacturers there. Of course, you can do different ways, but this really works because you avoid most of the traffic. It's fast, everything's pretty
Right.
connected. All that stuff. Challenge is if you don't know exactly where you're going,
Mm-hmm.
because you're on a scooter, you have your hands holding
Right.
it. Are
Right.
you gonna pull out your phone and
That's
look,
not
and
safe.
then, by the way, not safe.
Yeah. Right. So
I assume biking is similar.
right. That's one case. In the final is that I believe the AI will be improved by themselves. For example, the ChatGPT 5. ChatGPT 5 comes. ChatGPT 5 comes and brings the GPTs. All people can
Mhm.
build up their own GPT, right? So
Yes.
what I can tell you some secret, our company secret. We are preparing the Utopia GPT based on GPT-5. So, for now, the ChatGPT is like, we're using it. It's like people with a lot of words continuously speaking. It's not good. But
Mhm.
with GPTs, like Utopia GPT, when you talk to it, it can just give you the answer and it can
Mm.
integrate it and control because we do all the controllers. So the controller can grab some key information and then do the control of the e-bike. At that time,
Mm.
the ChatGPT can do much more things. It's really like what I mentioned, in the Iron Man. So Utopia is like the Jasper, and all the riders, well, with Iron Man, you can just talk to him. For example, oh, I'm hungry. Please help me find the nearest or cheapest restaurant or a best
Mhm.
restaurant nearby. Okay, he
Mm.
find to you and give you a navigation, something like that. A lot of potentials, and the using experience is much better. And let's come back to why we doing this way, because you definitely get my point. It's like I really want to differentiate with other product. For e-bike, this industry is so traditional. Every
Yeah.
brand, the traditional brands, they just grab all the components and assemble together to get a e-bike. So
Right.
every bike, maybe just the color different and all the same.
Mhm.
So I don't
Mhm.
think that's good for this industry. What I want to do is I build up a platform. This e-bike, actually, I call it the smart device platform or flagship. And
Mhm.
then I can use all the society, all the human technology resources, because I open an API. Any
Mhm.
software, once they open their API, we can work together. So
Yeah.
any apps is good for riding. I can use it. I don't need to develop it. I just develop the e-bike, the system itself. I do it much, much better. Like
Right.
dual motor,
Right.
dual battery, or even advanced motors. That's my job. But I can make this product continuous improve without efforts. I can just integrate other um, software. For example, we are talking with Garmin. Maybe we can integrate the Garmin directly into our e-bike. Easy,
Mhm.
open API. So
Mhm.
the technology is not the key. Maybe just
Yeah.
the content configuration. We need to talk about the business item. That's the key in the future.
Mhm.
That's totally
Mhm.
different. For all the other e-bikes, they cannot do it because they need to build up their own system. They can do it. Yeah.
It's interesting on a lot of different levels. I mean,
Hmm.
we've talked in the past few years about cars becoming software
Right.
on wheels,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And now you're talking about the bike being software on wheels. It's also interesting to compare with, for instance, Tesla versus traditional car manufacturers,
Right.
where Tesla tends to build most of their components and their software. And so they have, for instance, if you've seen a teardown of a Tesla, way fewer, way less wiring going
Yes.
everywhere, much more standardized, much more simplified communication throughout all the various systems on the car is easy and quick, versus a traditional car manufacturer that has sourced a
Right.
component there, have to wire it up with hundreds of miles or kilometers of wiring, and then have you can translate this sensor's language to this CPU, and very challenging,
Right.
right? So you're kind of doing something similar in e-bikes.
Yes. Yes. Actually, Tesla is the business model and the product development model is exactly what we are running. We just
Mm,
use Tesla as an example. What we are doing,
mm,
you got the point that when we develop the product, we just customize a lot of the hardware parts, and we just design by ourselves. And in this way, just like you mentioned in Tesla, in this way you can design this whole product as the whole structure. Then you can save a
mm,
lot of BOM cost. You save a lot of space. You make it much, much neat. Actually,
mhm,
Apple
mhm.
are doing the same way. So
Yep,
that's
yep,
that's how you can build up a really good product. However,
yep.
at the very beginning, if you try this way, it's really, really hard. It's really hard. That's
Yeah,
why.
it's a harder job. It's a
Yeah,
much harder
it's
job.
much,
Pulling a
much
million
harder.
things off the shelf and gluing them together,
Yeah,
that's pretty easy, but you end
yeah,
up with these big ugly things where the battery is obviously external to the
right.
entire frame and all that
Yes,
stuff.
yes,
So I'll show some images on the YouTube version of
yeah,
this, of your bikes, which are sleek and slim and everything, and makes sense. By the way, for those who are wondering what he was talking about when he said when Owen said BOM costs, he's talking bill of materials
right.
costs. He's not talking about exploding things.
Yeah,
So
yeah. BOM.
yes,
It's fabrication and cost. Yeah,
yep, yep,
yeah, yeah,
yep.
yeah. So, and also the Tesla is the electrical vehicle. They first bring in the AI, the automatically driving this type of thing. That is exactly what we are doing for our e-bike. That's why we call our smart e-bike, not one. The reason is that we build up a system. Actually, we are not an e-bike. Normally, I talk to
Right.
my friends. I'm not e-bike. I just a giant wearable device on your leg. Yeah.
The
So
bike is a wearable device. Excellent.
yes,
Who's wearing what? I'm not sure. Maybe the bike is wearing me. Um,
yes, exactly.
excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent. Owen, there's a lot more we could chat about. Well, we
mhm,
have to bring it to a close. I want
yeah.
to thank you for taking this time. I'm glad that it worked out for
No problem.
Shenzhen
Sure.
time and Vancouver time.
Yeah,
Thank you so much,
no problem.
and looking
Thanks.
forward to seeing what we come out with in 2024 as well.
No problem. Thank you.